Today's fable is Beauty, Wide Awake. First of all, the princess never was asleep. Let's get that straight right now. The actual curse was she'd been turned into a life-sized doll. She couldn't move, but she could hear, she could see, and she could talk. Oh, yes, she could talk. And there wasn't anything the prince could do about it. And what about true love's kiss? He demanded as he paced about the court magician's study. The magician sat in his chair smoking his pipe in annoyingly complete serenity, letting the prince rant until he was quite ranted out. "Feel better?" the magician asked. "I must say you're taking my predicament very calmly," the prince growled. "Haven't you been listening?" "Every word," the magician said. "Now state the problem. I know I doubt you better than that." The prince took a long, slow breath. "The ruler of Mollison has offered half his kingdom to anyone who can break the curse on his daughter. I fought my way to her tower, and I kissed her. Now all I have to show is a wooden doll that won't shut up." "Correct," said the magician. "You made two mistakes, prince. The second was taking the princess from her tower. And the first?" the prince asked. "Seriously, what possessed you to think you were her true love? You never even met her." The prince looked defeated. "I didn't think." "Correct again. Now the ruler of Mollison believes his daughter has been kidnapped. Your father has been working diplomatic channels for days trying to prevent a war. He'll likely want a word with you later." The prince frowned. "This is my fault. I have to fix this. If I'm not her true love, I'll find the one who is." The magician smiled. "Now you're thinking." It wasn't easy, but using knowledge of how palaces operated, the prince managed to track down the princess's old nurse, and with much cajoling, plus a large bribe, she directed him to a woodcutter's shack in a nearby forest, where he found a young man splitting firewood. "You're the princess's true love. Come with me." Together they returned to the prince's own kingdom, where he brought the youth to where the princess lay on a satin bed. "It worked," the happy youth said. "What worked?" the prince asked. "Mother's plan to curse the princess. Once I kiss her, both the princess and half of Mollison will be mine." The prince frowned. You do know she can hear you, right?" The youth blinked. "What are you talking about? She's a doll. Who heard everything you said?" The doll, meaning the princess, snapped. "So, rather than run away together like I wanted, you let that old harridan turn me into a bloody doll. Get out or I'll have the prince feed you to the moat beasts." "But sweetheart," the prince sighed and drew his sword. "You heard her. Get out." The oaf saw the gleam on the blade's edge and decided to leave without arguing the point. "I'm sorry, princess," the prince said. "I've made a mess of everything." "Yes, you have. Now I'll need to find another true love." "I guess so," he said. She looked at him. "Speaking of which, maybe we should try that kiss thing again."